time has come for the meeting to begin. I note that we have a quorum here, and so officially we can vote. If somebody wants to make any motions, and they can be approved. So we have in front of us some blue sheets. For those that are unfamiliar with CRW's policy, any replacement sheets from the original printing always come in a different color. So if there's some things that come from tonight's meeting that are changes, they will come in another color later. Okay? So that's one of the ways to identify what is current and what has been replaced. So for those of you that are new who do not know that, that's the reason you see blue sheets instead of white replacement sheets. So let's begin by having a roll call of who is here. Karen, would you do that, please?
I will. Cindy Lewis-Holcomb.
Here.
Pat Russell.
Here.
Barbara Kemper
Is
is
excused.
excused. Gary Kerr.
Here.
William Lentis.
Here.
Larry Soa.
He's expected to be here.
Okay. Ken Homerson.
Here.
Steve Kalani.
Here.
Bracky Sterling. David McNeil.
Here.
We have two deceased and one excused.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda tonight is to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to second it, but on a condition.
Yes, sir.
My notes reflected during the discussion on page 2 of 5, Budget Committee Process Governance, item 5.0.
Yes, sir.
I believe I heard Mr. Sauer with a no vote. And if he were here tonight, I'd defer to him to make that determination. But that was my note reflection, that I heard him say nay. I can't verify that tonight.
If he did, he didn't say it loud enough for the chair to hear that.
I'm just saying, raising the question is also.
We can,
Important question.
If that can be verified.
we can verify
Confirm
that
that.
the tape.
When it comes.
I'll accept the change if it proves to be the case as part of the motion.
Okay. Does the second agree to that?
I believe I heard that, that no stated under the next motion rather than this motion.
Yeah, I can't recall which motion.
And that was the motion to utilize the board policy for meetings posted on the north wall is where he went for it. So I believe that's where he was to have that.
Yeah, he did vote no on that.
So,
Again, the mover accepts the change. That turns out to be the case from the tape.
And since there was some response, if there was other folks there, I thought that might be helpful.
No, I also carried no on that.
Okay, he said.
No, Jack's not up, I'm sorry. Okay, any other discussion of changes? Barbara Kemper sent me a note regarding item 13. She had brought up the issue of some balances on OF5 and LB35, which is the last line of paragraph 3. And she wanted to make sure those corrections got made. They're not in the minutes, but they will be in the presentation of the budget officer tonight.
They are, and we did provide new blue sheets that
On the new blue sheets.
cover those changes. What she noted was in prior year budgets, and we have corrected that. So in those prior years, we do have correct numbers that all.
Did note for the record, so it is item 4.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I would also like to just have noted that I left the meeting for a different meeting on page 3 for an additional excuse. I'm just going to leave it carry mill. Because it sounded like I just took off there. I had notified the chair.
What item are you referring to?
Little notes.
3, just above item 10. 736.
For attendance at another meeting.
Required, and then, I mean,
Again, the mover accepts.
Second accepts.
Okay. Mr. Soa, because there's a couple questions regarding you with your votes on page 2, item agenda number 5 regarding Robert's Rule of Order. One of the members thought that you had voted no on item 5. The first motion to be for Robert's Rules, is that correct? Because it don't appear in the minutes that it was unanimous. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. It was noted for sure that the last motion there, the 5, that you did vote no with regard to the items on the wall. Okay. And does that concur with what your memory was?
Say that again?
With regard to the vote on using the board requirements for public meetings,
Oh.
I'm sure you voted no on that motion. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you reflect those changes in the minutes. I think because of the significance, if we want to vote on the changes, or if we get a reprint. He has a motion on the table.
I accept the changes.
Accept the changes.
I think there was
Accepted as well.
Okay, so let's go through those changes then. With regard to the first item under, motion under item 5, Mr. Sola does not recall voting no on that one. And so that one will remain unchanged. On the next motion with regard to the board policies on the wall, with regard to conducting meetings, Mr. Sola did vote no, we confirmed that, so we need to make that change. On page 3, just above agenda item 10, where it notes that the meeting reconvened 7:36 in Sister, and Cindy Lewis Wolfen left the meeting. She would like to add that, she left that, because she had another meeting to attend, she'd add that postscript there. I believe that's all the changes, did I miss anything?
That's correct.
Okay. So the motion is to accept these minutes with the changes that we just reviewed. Any further discussion? Let's have a roll call vote on this, please.
Okay. Cindy Lewis-Wolfen,
yes,
Pat Russell,
Yes.
Gary Kerr,
Yes?
William Lenz,
Yes.
Larry Soa,
Aye.
Ken Cumberson,
Aye.
Hugh Kalani,
Aye.
David McNeil.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item 15, future actions. There's some additional information that was discussed and requested generally from the budget officer after the last meeting concluded. During that discussion, she had the presentation prepared for us to discuss those items. So, Carol, if you would proceed with that.
I don't have an agenda.
Sure, just briefly, the question was asked, how did we meet our debt covenants for the fiscal 12-13 year? And our covenants were at 2.87 and 2.67. So the 2.87 includes the system development charges, revenue, and the 2.67 is without. I believe Cindy Lewis-Wolfen had asked that question.
thank you.
Bill Glennis had asked us to provide a glossary of the acronyms that we use. We tend to put them in the front part of the budget, and we define them at that point, and then the rest of the time we just use those initials. And we speak that language all the time, and for people that don't, it's helpful to have a reference chart, so we have provided that. Pat Russell had asked about where the urban reserve and rural reserve was, so we have provided maps to the budget committee members showing where the urban growth boundary is and where the urban and rural reserves are. And we did update the LB reports. This refers back to the issues that Barbara Kemper had discovered. This was in a prior year budget numbers, but we have corrected that, and we've provided new LB reports. And so the LB reports and the other funds' budget reports now match for the revenue fund. And then we also had a change to the LB reports for the general fund. I had made a change in the front part of the budget and didn't flow it through to the back part of the budget. It was a $5,000 reduction. And so now the LB reports match the general fund numbers. And as this committee reviews the budget and potentially approves the budget, it's the LB report numbers that you are actually approving. So we wanted to make sure that those were all accurate. So I think that answers all the questions that came up at the previous meeting.
Okay. Further questions with regard to these matters? Okay, let's move further.
Just a comment,
Ms. Wolford.
just a request of staff for maybe the next year, budget committee. I know that this is, getting this stuff together this quickly is sometimes kind of hard, but if there's a way to get this material to the budget committee prior to the meeting, it would be helpful to look over and read prior to the meeting.
The updated sheets.
The next item on the agenda then is to discuss the general fund. From my point of view, management gave us some 10 decision packages. They can be discussed and voted on individually, or they can be discussed and voted on in total. Is there any preference on the part of the committee as to how you want to handle that? My personal preference would be to vote on each one of them, since they've asked for a decision on each, and that would put it on record. But the committee wants to do it differently. We can vote on that, and I'd be fine with it too. So, discussion on that.
What page are we finding?
We're looking at GF4, which is under tab General Fund. There's 10 items there. They're included in the budget as presented to us. But by the way they named that, to me it appears that these are items they'd like some specific approval of. So they wouldn't have named them decision packages. So that's the chair's interpretation of that word. The committee would like to do them as a whole or singly. That's what we're discussing now. Ms. Wolford.
Could we put a motion on the table and see if it applies, sir?
I move the general fund for fiscal year 2014-15 budget be approved as presented, or be recommended for approval as presented per LB 31, page 838.
Second.
Moved and seconded. To approve the whole budget. Good. Without discussion of the decision packages. Discussion from the committee.
Well, I had my questions answered at our last meeting on the various issues that I raised,
Okay.
speaking for myself, on the decision packages, so I have no new questions.
Other questions? Okay. Mr. McNeil, you weren't here. Do you have any?
I'm pretty comfortable with this. I've been here now a year. I understand how this works. Last year at this time, I wasn't so lucky. And was scrambling just a little bit, to be quite honest with you, but no, I'm comfortable with this.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Any further discussion? And let's call to the vote. Karen, would you call the roll?
I will do that. Cindy Lewis Wolfram,
Aye.
Pat Russell,
Aye.
Gary Kerr,
Aye.
William Blackus,
Aye.
Larry Kellogg,
Aye.
Ken Humperson,
Aye.
Hugh Kalani,
Aye.
and David McNeil.
Aye.
They can pass unanimous.
Okay, the next item then for voting is the CIP fund.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the CIP fund. I move to recommend approval of the CIP fund fiscal year 2014-2015 budget as presented per LB 10, page A4.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on the CIP. Seeing no discussion, we'll call for the vote. Karen, would you
Cindy Lewis Wolfram,
Aye.
Pat Russell,
Aye.
Gary Kerr,
Aye.
William Blankus,
Aye.
Larry Soa,
Aye.
Ken Humperson,
Aye.
Hugh Kalani,
Aye.
David McNeil.
Aye.
It passed unanimous.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a comment to our general manager. If at all possible, in our efforts to inform the general public, as we have been doing in our buildings and whatnot like that, what we're doing and why we're doing it, at some point in time, it would be nice to see them see that list of projects in one of those letters. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not sure what the rest of the board would like to do, but
No, I agree.
I do think that's one way of getting the word out. This is what we're doing with your money.
Does the committee want to make a formal motion about that? We can if you want.
It's probably really board business, but
I know, but that, we can make recommendations to the board to do those kind of things. It's a budget committee, so if you wanted to formalize that, put it in a formal motion.
Pile on us.
okay, then I will so move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion, issues on the CFP?
I would assume, Mr. Chair, if I may, that you would really like to have more than just the projects talked about if we're going to do something to the public. Kind of a general discussion of what's in the budget and what's behind it. And I'm assuming that you would like for us to do that, or just the project.
Well, you know, to some degree, we kind of defer to you and your staff's judgment as to what needs to go out there. And I don't want to interfere with that, but I just think that information, standalone, should also go out there. That's all. And I'll leave it at that.
And I would just say that we can, in that communication, provide a link to the CRW website where the adopted budget will be
Yes.
displayed.
That would be
That
helpful.
would be great.
Yeah.
In light of the many pages you sent with regard to the rate increases, it would be helpful to do something that would help them understand really what some of the district does, why some of the streets are going to be adjusted. That would be helpful. Okay, other funds. Again, there are multiple funds. We can vote on each one of them, or we can vote on them as a group. Whatever the committee's desire is.
Mr. Chair, I
Yes, sir.
move to recommend approval of the fiscal year 2014-2015 budgets of the Capital Reserve Fund, the CRWSC Activity Fund, the Rate Stabilization Reserve Fund, the SDC System Development, can't remember what the C stands for, Reserve Fund, and the Revenue Bond Fund is presented per the respective LB 10, LB 11, and LB 35.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Additional discussion. Aaron, would you call the roll, please?
Okay. Cindy Lewis Wolfram,
Aye.
Pat Russell,
Aye.
Gary Kerr,
Aye.
William Blankus,
Aye.
Larry Soa,
Aye.
Ken Humperson,
Aye.
Hugh Kalani,
Aye.
David McNeil.
Aye.
It passed unanimous.
Thank you. That completes future actions, which is item 15. Item 16 is to declare no tax levy. There is no tax levy proposed in this budget. It has been many years since CRW has had those. Those levies are required to be approved by the veteran in the state of Oregon. Everybody doesn't always understand, but that is required if we should ever do that. But one of the things we must do every year is make a motion that we are not going to levy any taxes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we not approve any levies for taxes. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Okay. Cindy Lewis Wolfram,
Aye.
Pat Russell,
Aye.
Gary Kerr,
Aye.
William Blankus,
Aye.
Larry Soa,
Aye.
Ken Humperson,
Aye.
Hugh Kalani,
Aye.
David McNeil.
Aye.
It passed unanimous.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Russell.
I don't recall if we've had any public comment period in our, this segment of our meeting.
We have not.
I would encourage at least the opportunity for public comment before we adjourn.
Okay. Time now for any public comment for those that are here.
Our vast audience.
Our vast audience. Well, sometimes when you're 30 here, it's. Yeah.
Is this closing comments as well as public comments?
So, seeing no public comments, are there comments from the committee?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is just a comment to staff, both Lee and to Carol and the rest of the staff that have been here. I've been now looking at these budgets, not quite as long as Mr. Kerr has, but possibly as long as Mr. Russell has. And this is the best prepared budget I have seen since the 2008-9 budget.
I agree.
And it is easy to read. It is very well put together, and it answers the questions that pop up as you start here if they get answered in the next section. I thank you all for the amount of work that you put into this. It shows, and it also shows brilliantly. So thank you very, very much as a constituent. I really appreciate the effort and the work.
I have one comment. I thought that's the way it was supposed to go all the time. Isn't it been the norm?
It has not been.
You've been spoiled, you.
When I first started, the budget was that big.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. My little annual comment, we're seeing our neighbors to the south beginning what I call the water wars. And I was being a little bit comical, I think, our last meeting about some quotes from historians. But I am very serious about this, and I do feel that CRW needs to step up, administration and board, to be a major player in conservation of our water resource. But the salmon are not recovering, and we have major industrial activity going on next to the river. And the question is kind of who's watching the water quality. I know we had that USGS study here a few years ago, I think, before I got on this committee. And it just concerns me, watching what's been going on around the country. We now know that we're seeing major oil shipments by rail, and guess what? You know,
They go boom.
we have right there, we have a major rail line right next to our drainage courses that drain into the river. But not only that, but water conservation from the standpoint of what we can do as an agency to be more conservative toward water use and reclamation, as well as creating a habitat which will provide more groundwater recharge. And I did suggest to administration through a couple of emails this season things that I've been looking for, and I'm pleased to see that both the Water Consortium out of the Portland area, as well as our own water providers group is, I think, taking a harder look at that. So I think we need to stay on top of that, and I appreciate as much transparency as we can get. I know that water wars mean secrets, and I just hope we can stay above that a little bit, so thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Klein.
I'd like to refer to that very thing. We have this, some of us on the committee have discussed the very same things that your issues that you're worried about, concerned about. And we have the same concern, and we're trying to develop some sorts of programs so we can deal with those issues.
Mr. Lyles?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the CFO and Lee for helping me out and trying to figure out how this stuff works. And Carol helped me out with the difficulty that I had to take a business trip just before, so she emailed this whole packet to me.
Wow.
And I spent hours reading this thing. Some of it just went right over my head. I just want to go out of my way and tell you guys thank you. You made it easier. I'm not saying I understand them all, but you made it easier for a new budget member.
Thank you for your service.
Briefly, that Carol, as we all know, has received, and her staff have received an award from the Government Financial Officers Association, which was presented at our last regular business meeting. And yet, once again, you do an even better job. How do you keep getting better? We do appreciate it. I also wanted to commend our engineering staff for their efforts, the information they provided us for the packages, the CIPs and decision packages and things. Particularly the decision packages, they read easily and understandably. So, thank you.
That was CFO's staff. That was written.
Thank you.
Very helpful, too.
Well, I would just like to say thank you very much to the Budget Committee. We can't do this without you. I also like to thank, the staff, my staff in particular, but all of the staff at CRW, everybody for their contributions, for their review, for their input. And I also welcome any feedback or suggestions from anybody on the Budget Committee, anything that you think would make the process better, easier to understand. We do kind of look towards continuous improvement. So every year it's going to get a little bit better. We're going to be able to communicate what it is that CRW is doing to the ratepayers in a better way. And also a reminder that since the budget has now been approved, it will go before the board to be adopted, and we plan to schedule that for the June 12th meeting. And it will be at the regular board meeting at 6 p.m. And so everybody's obviously welcome to attend that meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, you got any comments before we?
Let's see. First of all, I think that as the board has noted, our staff continues to really do great work. And as a manager, it makes it a lot easier for me to function when I only have to look in one or two directions and not all around me in terms of trying to figure out what the heck's going on here. One of the things that we are aspiring for and continue to look at is this, I know it's an overplayed word called continuous improvement. But we also really take the idea of stewardship seriously. We may not be as noisy as some people about it, but one of the things that we like to talk about is watch what we do, not what we say. And I think that we're fortunate as a district to have people on staff where we have married technology and science. Because both of those are extremely important. We now have the capability with not only staff that we have on board, but also some of the equipment that the board has authorized us to buy to be able to have somewhat of an early warning system in the river, so that if there are contaminants in the river and those kind of things, I think you heard at one of our prior board meetings that we can do that analysis here in-house. We don't have to go elsewhere to get that kind of an assistance. And I think the last thing that I'd like to talk about is, as the public, members on the board, we've spent the last few years kind of going over a bumpy road. And I think that we have kind of flattened out or plateaued out with the assistance of the new board that's here and kind of the leadership that we've been getting has helped a lot. And I think also the continued support of people who have been on the board before in both board capacities and as volunteers. It's made it a lot easier to manage. So I want to thank you all, and hopefully we will continue not to disappoint you in terms of how we go about in doing what we do, because I think that we, we're focused on doing the right things, but we're never satisfied with where we are. We're always looking to do things better, and I think you see that as a result of some of the work product that's going on today. So thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the committee for their efforts, for going through all of the documentation, for asking questions staff, not being unwilling to ask those questions. They might get the clarity they need to make the appropriate decision with regard to the budget. I also appreciate the staff presentations. I've observed them over many years. They significantly and substantially improving from year to year. And the clarity and the thoroughness, as well as the conciseness, is measurable. I'd like to thank them for that. Because what they present here shows the work that they're doing on a day-to-day basis in their various jobs to operate the district. So I'd like to thank them for that. Having said that, the meeting is adjourned.